Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's a movie starring some dude and Sir Davos from Game of Thrones. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. There's a vampire type person in this, which I feel like is not a spoiler because of just every ad out there ever, and also the opening scroll. So, moving on to the good and bad. So, speaking of the opening scroll, this movie is based off of the captain's log that was written in the book Dracula by Bram Stoker, whatever. So it's a fictional account of a fictional account of a thing that was a fictional, like, this Inception level of like, all right, sure, could have just left that part off and been like, hey, this just watch. It's a movie that's got a vampire ship. Could have done that. But I guess, I don't know, they wanted the name recognition. So, I generally don't like horror movies. Various horror movies for various reasons. This has I'm going to call it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of thing to it. And I haven't seen very many of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so maybe I'm misremembering. But the thing is, with a lot of horror movies, in order for the big bad evil guy who's just clomping along to catch all of the people that are running, they have to be really, really stupid people making really, really stupid decisions. And that's kind of what this movie is. You got the horror movie aspect of, if you're tuning in for this movie to see people slowly get picked off by the vampire on the ship, well, I have good news for you, because that's basically what happens. But with how many ads I've been seeing for this, I guess I was just hoping for more. So, if that's the type of movie that you're in the mood to see, then this fulfills it quite well. The acting, especially by Sir Davos, is excellent. And I gotta say that the budget for this, I think, was pretty surprising. So, it's set on a ship, as you probably have picked up by now. And what was interesting is that the cargo hold is, and again, opening scroll, the cargo hold is supposed to hold 50 of these giant fucking crates, like giant crates. And on the one hand, the interior cargo hold of this is bigger than, like, okay, most of my knowledge about, like, pirates and ship sailing and schooners and all that jazz is from Pirates of the Caribbean and Master and Commander, okay? So, but it's really, really big on the inside. Like, way bigger than the Pirates of the Caribbean cargo holds. And yeah, I think that those were more like fast attack ships or whatever, but it was just surprising how big it was. That being said, I still don't think it was big enough to hold 50 of those crates that size. I just don't believe it. So the other thing is that once they get to like the larger, like the further away exterior shots of the ship, like the ship, I think, is barely wide enough for that cargo hold, but again, I don't know the construction of ships, but it just seems like that it would have to be really top heavy. And it seemed like from the far shots that there'd have to be a lot underwater in order for it to be that high in the cargo hold. So maybe I'm just nitpicking, or maybe I just don't understand ship physics or whatever. But that was a little odd to me. But also, even with Star Trek ships, they always seem to be the wrong size on the inside to the outside. So whatever, it's a thing. For me, maybe. The other thing is that the amount of CGI in this, yes, most of it was set at night for the big CGI bits so they could save some money with that. But I have to say that it was pretty good. Like that, with how many like far and mid shots that they had of the ship and of like weather coming in and all that jazz, like I feel like they shelled out some money for the CGI to really give this that atmosphere. A couple of the close-up shots were okay, but they weren't distracting by any means. But it's certainly better than Ant-Man Quantumania. So there's that. Hard to. It's a low bar though. Am I right? Anywho, so the other thing that was just kind of okay about this is that you have. It's not really a type of movie that I enjoy. So I think that for what it was, I think that could work, but it's just not one that was for me, if you will. And yeah, because there's a bunch of dumb decisions. So yeah, I'm going to get into the spoiler section now. So, spoiler alert. Go watch the movie if it's your type of movie, that's what you want to see. I think that's a good example of it, but spoiler alert. Okay, so to start off with, they find a body in in one of these crates. They hit it against something, some dirt leaks out, and then later on they hit some turbulence or whatever, and it breaks open, and so they find this chick is in the dirt. And so they bring her up, and so the doctor guy, our main character black guy, is just like, hey, she needs a transfusion to help with that infection. And it's like, what fucking infection are you seeing, bro? Yeah, she was in dirt, but you looked no further than just yep, infection needs more blood. What? And they even make a point of later on in the movie, she shows him her shoulder because she's like, oh, see, I've been bitten a bunch. And okay, so you just made this assessment without inspecting the body whatsoever. She could have had a gaping wound, internal bleeding, a whole bunch of other things, and you're just like, blood. That's what she needs. All right, okay, whatever. And then there was just so many dumb decisions in this. So when the vampire guy first gets onto the ship, or not gets onto the ship, but gets onto the deck of the ship, and the guy with the knife is just and he gets throat slashed immediately, and then clearly tossed overboard after he's been fed on. So everybody finds the knife, and they find a whole bunch of blood, and they're like, what could have happened? And the thing is that the part that he came up through was the crisscross that covers the cargo hold. It's clearly been broken out. So, broken out. Then towards the end of the movie, when they're like, hey, our plan is to trap him in here, so we're going to reinforce this cargo hold thing, and all you see is them putting a couple nails into the crisscross that's already there. We have already established that he can break out of that, so how is that reinforcing anything? He's just going to be able to break out through that, so that's dumb. And then you just have that, so guy goes overboard, or, just disappears and just leaves a bloody area and a knife, and they're like, oh, search for him. And they search for him, I guess. But then when the next guy dies or gets hit or whatever else, then they're like, okay, search everywhere, not just the cargo hold. And why did you just search the cargo hold the first time? Why would he have gone drunken stupidly from the deck of the ship somewhere to the cargo hold? And why, when you're searching for him in the cargo hold, and you're like, yeah, he's not here. Okay, should we search elsewhere? No, yeah, no, okay, we'll just chill. It's fine. Search the rest of the fucking ship. And so then they search the ship more after this next incident, and they still can't find, and then, most of the way through, once you're in there, okay, we know what he is, and we're blah, blah, blah time, then they're actually searching for him, and they're like, you gotta open those crates, aren't you? It's yeah, we're gonna open those crates. And so then they open the crate to find, oh, yeah, he was in one of the crates. Of course he's in one of the fucking crates. Are you kidding me? How else do you think he got on board? And when you know he's in one of the crates, what are you searching if not the thing that takes up 90% of the space in the ship with the 50 freaking crates of cargo holdness? Are you kidding me? After the first guy died, I would have been crack those fuckers open and see if he's just chilling in there. Or at least make sure that they're secured and not able to be easily or sneakily opened. Nope, they didn't do that. So, and then, they figure out that, oh hey, so he was only starting to eat us one by one, one per night, once we had gotten into open water, because open water means we're not near any of the ports, so he can't just go feed and come back. So, we've established that our characters know that he has to be going to shore during the night and coming back. And we should know and be like, well, he doesn't take a boat to get there. How else could he have gotten there and back? Oh, I don't know, because he can fucking fly. So they should have been able to piece together that he can fly. And so their plan is to destroy the ship, I guess real fucking gradually with that axe, right? There's to destroy the ship and then escape on the life raft, escape boat, and go to shore. But we've already established that he can make it to shore when they're close enough. You have to be out on the open ocean. And then they have this establishing shot where they're like, yes, we can see land right there. That's where we're headed after we sink the ship. Like, if you're sinking the ship where you can see the shore, he can get to the shore. If you can get to the shore, he can get to the shore. Your plan is stupid and will not work. So, yeah, it's just dumb. And then there was a bunch of times they're like, oh, hey. So they found where his bed was, right? Like, they find a little secret lever thing to open up the particular box or crate that he is in. And then they're like, okay, so now that we know where he sleeps, we're going to put it back together, and then we're going to wait until we have to cover a whole bunch of area from really far away and hope to surprise him as he's coming out and sacrificing the chick so that we can shoot him there. You know, if you know where he sleeps, you could maybe, I don't know, hear me out. You could move where he sleeps while he's sleeping during the day, where we have established before this that they like immediately light on fire when they're hit with sunlight. You could move that out into the sunlight while he's, and you know, and even if while you're moving him, and like maybe you just don't wait until noon, so like maybe the sun isn't quite streaming in, even if he wakes up and starts to do things, you could have your guys covering like really close so that if he does try and spring out, you could just shoot him there. Or you could even just shoot him through the box if he starts to rumble around. Like you could strap the box closed and then shoot him through the box, move the box into the sun, and then open that bitch up, light him on fire. But no, you're like, nope, we know where he sleeps. We're not going to booby trap it. We're not going to take him out while it's daylight. We're going to wait until it's nighttime again. Like, just the dumbest things. The dumbest things. And he's kind of got that, like, the standard horror movie thing of, like, how did giant, huge, fat guy that clunks around everywhere magically appear in the closet type of thing. Like, he gets to places and appears in places where it's like, how long you been standing there? Because I feel like they would have noticed you if you had walked in while, like, a time frame that would have actually been reasonable. And if you've been there for, like, all night, how the fuck did they not see you? So, there's a lot of that. And then the movie, and super spoiler for the end, the movie ends where, like, the black guy spies him as, like the big bad evil guy's, like, he's got his little cane thing, and he's inside. It's like, oh, remember, because they can dress up as people. Oh, yeah. Which, speaking of which, if Romanian chick knew that he dresses up as people and, like, hides and whatnot, and he's been feasting on their village, I feel like he would have flown at some point, and she would have also pointed that out. So I'm just, again, the flying thing should have already been established. They clearly knew about it, and they just were like, here, stupid plan anyway. Anyway, so, you know, he's, like, he's making his presence known, and then he, like, goes out the front door in the fast, like, you know, something passes in front of the camera, and the guy disappears sort of thing. So our hero's like, I'm going to go do this vampire hunting. Like, I'm going to take this guy out because I know where he's going because of the bill of lading or whatever on the crates. So I know where he's going. So then it has this, like, empty alley where vampire dude in his, like, human top hat is, like, towards the end and kind of, like, saunters off, and then our guy is, like, behind him following him. Like, all you motherfuckers just lost to him out on the open ocean where you had guns and shit, and you are just gonna follow him into a dark alley. Like, I feel like if this movie had gone on another 2 minutes, we'd have just, like, you know, come in and, oh, he's dead. Yep, got his throat ripped out. Yep, there he is. He's dead. That's exactly what it is. On the flip side, I kind of feel like they were, like, fishing for a sequel. Like, they aren't, like, for sure, like, ooh, sequel, because this is based on a book of a tale of a thing and another book of a blah, 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 captain's log, so, like, maybe. But I also feel like they could, like, fishing for a sequel, like, him doing some vampire hunting. But, again, I feel like 2 minutes after this, he's gotten his throat slashed and he's dead. Also, how did he get all that, like, I'm just going to pretend that his, like, money satchel where he had, like, all of his coins was just somehow, like, attached to him, like, on the inside of his clothes because he was shipwrecked and had nothing. So, whatever. Also, the opening sequence just set the wrong tone, in my opinion. So the opening sequence, we have, like, some guard, police-type people knocking on the door of an inspector. I mean, like, Inspector, a ship has come up on the rocks. And then they go down. Here's the thing. if you were an inspector that got woken up in the middle of the night because some dumbass decided to hit the rocks with their ships, like, you probably would have been like, oh, hold on, let me get my coat. Like, let me go get dressed. Like either frustrated or like, oh, this is tragic. But no, everyone's already disconcerted and like, ooh, what? Oh, there's something on the rocks. Oh, God. Oh, there's something on the rocks. We have to get down there now. Oh. And then they get down there and like, you know, the fucking I've seen dead people type guys are like, sir, I went on the ship and I got the captain's book because at the end of the movie, like, that fucking room is trash, so I guess he had to have been looking for the captain's log? I guess it's sort of like when you look for the black book, like, you're just gonna go to it, but whatever, we'll just go with that. But he's like, sir, I have the captain's log, but I'm not going back on that ship, sir. And what do we have at the end of the movie? Sir, whose bodies are there? I don't think, like, there's no bodies. There might be the dude who got his face smashed in, but, and I guess maybe the other guy who, like, broke his leg, but that's it. Like, 2 bodies, and you're just like, not buying it. I feel like, nope. So, yeah, it's just, they tried to establish the spooky scariness too early in a context that didn't quite make sense, especially for the inspector coming down. So, yeah, again, it's not my type of movie where you have the just dumb people doing dumb things in order for the bad guy to be able to continue to pick them off one by one. You should have searched the whole ship in actuality, and then you would have found him and done it during the day, but whatever. CGI is fine. The acting is good from Sir Davos, and the other ones are okay. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoy it if you're the type that's in for that movie. I think it's a good example of that type of movie. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.